Hey guys, so I'm back with my final video that I'm going to be recording for you guys today, and this is an anime review. I have been asking all of you guys who are interested in the anime part of my channel that I'm creating, what animes you guys wanted me to review, what animes you'd be interested in seeing me review, um, all that kind of stuff. And between my YouTube comments and my Skype calls with a couple of my subscribers that I'm pretty good friends with, a lot of you have been asking me to do the same anime, which is Black Butler. So that's what we're going to review today. I'm going to kind of split this review up a little bit, and I'm going to review each season separately, just because my feelings per season are different. Now, this series is 2 seasons long. Um, and and even though it's just 2 seasons long, my feelings are so drastic between the 2 seasons. That's why I'm gonna kind of review this a little bit separately. Uh, so yeah, let's start with season one. Season one of Black Butler, you're introduced to your main character, CL, who is a young, rich kid, and uh, he's the only one left in his family. His parents were murdered, and he basically is running the family business, which is toy making and candies and things like that. He also, on the side, works for the queen, as what they call in the series, he is her guard dog. In other words, things that are like of the supernatural aspect that the normal police force wouldn't be able to handle, he handles. Now, that kind of gives you a little bit of a background on him, but along with him is his faithful butler, Sebastian. And Sebastian, you find out early on, is a demon. You actually find that out in the first episode. He made a contract with CL to help him, like, figure out who murdered his parents and why they did it. And at the end of this contract, when the contract is up and everything is cleared and done, he is able to have CL's soul, which he plans to eat. He is a demon. And so, yeah, that pretty much makes sense. Now, the show's first season is a little bit kind of silly. They do a lot of food references, and a lot of tea references, and things like that. So it's not so much on the drama action side of it, at least for part of the first season. Like the first, I'm gonna say like the first 6 or 7 episodes is pretty much just there to make you laugh. Like that's all it's for. They do later in the first season get into the actual drama and action part of it. They still do throw in the funny references for like the food and stuff like that. They make Sebastian like go crazy about different dishes he's preparing and things like that, which is funny. But it can get kind of annoying, but for the most part it's funny. So I actually really enjoyed it. Uh, the ending of season one leaves off in a big cliffhanger, and I was like, oh man, this would be perfect for an ending, but at the same time, I really want to know more. Well, then I found out they were making a season two, and I was excited because I love CL and I love Sebastian, so I was all for it. Here's where my review kind of splits. Season two, you still have CL and you still have Sebastian, but you're introduced to two new main characters. So you're going to have four main characters in season two. The two new ones you're introduced to is another young man named Alois, and he's another rich, snobby kid who kind of gets whatever he wants, and his demonic butler, Claude. I did not like those characters. I'm going to start off by saying that they annoyed me majorly bad. The only reason why I watched season two in its entirety was because of CL and Sebastian. Uh, if it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't have watched season two at all. Um, basically, Eloise's story is, it's not exactly the same as CL's from season one, but it's similar in the fact that Eloise lost everybody, um, that he, well, not everybody that he cared for, but like he had one particular other boy that he cared for a lot. They thought of each other like brothers, and he was really like kind of his this boy's protector, and this boy died. And Eloise, you know, really misses him and everything else. And before this boy died, they were living in this little like village as pretty much like street rats, and they were treated really badly, and a a bunch of things happened where they were getting picked on and bullied, and at times they were like almost killed by these other villagers because they would throw stones at them and everything else. And that's when Eloise decided to form his contract with another demon, Claude, and wipe out that village. That was what he wanted. But whenever that, you know, no, I should say it was the boy that formed the contract. You find this out anyway. So, boy forms a contract to wipe out that village to make his brother, which is Eloise, to make him happy. But when Eloise finds out that this, you know, boy is now dead, he gets angry. So he forms a contract with Claude, and it's kind of confusing season two, because you think that these both people are forming contracts, and you find out they both did form contracts, but they're different. Like I'm not gonna spoil it for you if you really want to watch season two. But season two it's shorter than season one. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying I could have done without it. I did not like Claude. I did not like Eloise, and they have a couple other demons running around their house. One of them's name is Hannah. I did like Hannah. Hannah. I liked her. I liked her character. But they also had these three like triplets running around. I think they were like the Thompson brothers or something like that. And I didn't like them either. They were kind of annoying. Except for in the one OVA, they were actually really funny. Like when they actually talk, they were funny. But yeah, I don't know. I do recommend this anime in its entirety for you to watch. Like, even if these characters in season two happen to annoy you just like they did me, stick with it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and it, like, fully by the end of season two sums up everything for you, even back from season one. So, I would stick with it for that part of it. But if you really don't want to watch season two, I wouldn't blame you. Like, that's really bad to say. But I really, really did not like season two nearly as much as I liked season one. I was and still am fascinated with season one. I absolutely love season one. I rewatched the first season probably a good 50 times by now. And season two, I think I've only rewatched it 3 times. And the only reason why I rewatched it 3 times was first time I watched it was the first time I watched it. Second time I watched it was because I was confused. So I needed to rewatch it to try to pick up pieces that I missed that I needed to use to clarify everything, which worked. Uh, Third time I rewatched it was because I was rewatching the entire series from the very, very beginning, and I wanted to just straight watch both seasons right in a row. Uh, Honestly, I still go back to season one. I don't go back to season two anymore. I just really, really did not like season two nearly as much as I like season one. Now, the other thing you have to realize with season two in particular is obviously there's things going on with CL that makes him not able to fully be a full-on main character like he was in season one. If you watch season two, you'll learn why, and it'll kind of make a little bit of sense to why they brought in these other two characters to kind of fill you in while CL's going through what he's going through. But I don't know. I just wish they could have picked better characters or something, or like at least better backgrounds for the characters or something, because they really annoyed me. I don't know what else to say to that. They just really, really annoyed me. But as far as the show in its entirety, I would definitely recommend it at least once. I recommended it to a couple of people, but they couldn't make it past the first like 3 episodes because there was like I said before, it's the first like I want to say like 5 or 6 episodes of season 1 are strictly there just kind of like it's funny. It's not really like action or anything. But I have to stress to you guys, if you're there for the action that's in the series, you have to make it past those episodes because there's really no action in those episodes at all, but there becomes action after that. Like it builds up slowly and then boom, action. So you have to get past that part of it. But honestly, the series is really, really good, and I really, really enjoyed it in its entirety. Now that I realize, like, with even with season 2, as much as I don't like season 2, it did wrap up the entire show for CL and Sebastian's characters, which I really liked because I needed the wrap up for them. With Alois and Claude in season 2, I could have really cared less if they were even in there. I mean, they did play an important part with CL and Sebastian and you being able to like figure out everything that's going on with those two. But I really just I wish they were there less, or at least not even major characters. I kind of wish they were like just there, like not as main characters, but just like showing up in a couple episodes and that be it. Like that would have been perfect for me. But that's not how the creators did it, and you have to respect the creators' decision. So I do. And if you are strictly a CL and Sebastian fan, which I happen to be, I would still recommend you watch season 2. If you haven't, don't let the new characters throw you off, because CL and Sebastian are in season 2, and like I said, it wraps up the entire story between just specifically CL and Sebastian from the first season. It completely wraps up their story at the end of season 2. So just stick with it. Um, it is a bit of a darker comedy. Um, yes, the food thing and the coffee thing and the tea thing or whatever. It's that's not dark comedy or whatever. It's just funny, but there is a lot of dark humor in the series, and I don't know. I really like it. It's a supernatural series, which I'm always drawn to supernatural series for anything, whether it's a TV show, a movie, or anime or whatever. So that's one reason I think why I enjoyed it so much because it's a supernatural series. There's all kinds of things in this show. There are mannequins that can walk around and puppets that can walk around, and there are angels and there are demons and there are they do the whole it's not cliche or whatever, but they do the whole overuse angels pitted against demons, but they twist it to where you really don't know, is the demon the bad one or the angel the bad one, or I mean, you don't know which side to go on. Like, they really, really twist it and make you think. And I really, really, really enjoy the series. I really recommend it. This is by far one of my favorite series that's a somewhat newer series. Um, of course, I have all my old favorites, which you guys will learn in future anime reviews. But for a newish I say newish because I think this series, I don't even remember. It's been a couple years since it came out. But for a newish series, this is definitely in the top for me. I've watched a lot of some newer ones that I really didn't like. Again, I'll get into those whenever I do the reviews for those particular series. But for a newish one, I really, really enjoyed it. To me, was really, really good. I really loved it. I loved the characters of CL and Sebastian. I thought they went together really, really well. I loved CL's, tragic storyline and just ah, I loved it. So, yes, this is a recommended series for me, and this is my short-ish yet whatever. This is my review of Black Butler. So, I recommend it, and if you have not watched it, I would recommend watching it. Also, I meant to throw this in like towards the beginning of the video, but since I'm crunched on time right now, I'm gonna just throw it in right now before I end the video. This particular series, I watched season one on Netflix, and season two, I believe I watched on Crunchyroll. I'm pretty sure. So, yes, those are the two places I watched this. I don't actually own it, that's why I'm not showing it to you. But yeah, that's where I watched it. So, I mean, you guys can go there and you can watch it, and just, it's amazing. I do, however, recommend you, well, personally, I would recommend you watch the English version of it if you can. If that's not your thing, then watch the subbed version. I mean, if that's your thing, I watch both versions, and for this particular series, I prefer the English over the subbed. So, but yeah, those are the two sites I used to watch it, and that is my review. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.